first things first, a little bit about me. You may know me as, you know, the badass lady. I hear that all the time. Hey, badass, how you doing? And I love it. That does not get old. Being called a badass does not get old. And that's why I developed the program Licensed to be Badass, flipping the format on the fear of failure. So as you know, I'm a licensed psychotherapist. So yes, I am a badass certifier, but I'm also a licensed psychotherapist. I treat depression and anxiety. That's what I specialize in. And I'm trained specifically in cognitive behavioral therapy. And I love positive psychology and neuroscience. So I get a little nerdy. I really do, because it's all very technical, but the program that I created by helping you create your badass soundtrack, it just takes away all of the necessary science to it, as long as you understand that it is scientific, but it's way fun, more fun than any other tool that I've tried using in my life. But first, a little bit about me. I'm a second generation radio broadcaster. That means that my dad was in broadcast before I was ever born. I'm the youngest of four and the only girl. And so it was my dad's dream to build, own, and operate his own radio station. So I grew up in Los Angeles in the San Fernando Valley. He worked for a big radio station in Los Angeles. And when I was in high school, we moved to the high desert, Victorville, to build the first of 5 radio stations. Yes, I actually have a radio station named after me in Bakersfield, California. The call letters are KLLY. And my dad built that station when I was 21. But I went on the air, and I was a radio personality, and I sold advertising, and I was involved in my community and a member of the Chamber of Commerce, and I served on a bunch of committees, and I did promotions and marketing, and that's where I cut my teeth in business for 20 years. Operating radio stations, hiring, training, selling, coaching, teaching, being a radio personality, being out in the community, putting together promotions and all that. Well, we don't own the stations anymore, and I've had a few other things that I've done. But, you know, a lot of you might say, a lot of people have asked, okay, so why did you become a licensed psychotherapist? You had this job in radio. Well, in 2006, so I was a single mom raising 3 kids, self-employed. My dad and I, we had transitioned from running radio stations, and now we were consulting radio and television stations for FCC compliance. Once again, a little nerdy. It's not the most glamorous job in radio or broadcasting, and a lot of broadcasters had told us that we were, you know, we're like the morticians of broadcasting. It's a job that has to get done, but nobody wants to do it. And we've done that for 20 years. But during that time in 2006, one day on the 4th of July week, on one weekend, 4th of July in 2006, I ended up in the emergency room struggling from heart failure. That's right, my heart was failing. Now, it was an undiagnosed arrhythmia that my cardiologist has said must have been affecting me for like 3 months to cause my heart to fail. And one more day on the couch, I would have not been here anymore. So that began the journey of 2.5 years to regain my house back. My entire career was derailed. I really had anticipated, by this time in 2006, my kids were teenagers, and my youngest was 15. So he was just a couple of years away from me being able to launch him into adulthood, where I thought at this point I could launch an executive career in broadcasting. In fact, I was working with the National Association of Broadcasters with a leadership training program, trying to buy some radio stations. But my life and my career was derailed. I ended up hospitalized. I had to take a lot of medications. My heart rate was going so fast, and it changed everything for me. And I'm not going to tell you the whole story here, but the reason why I'm sharing this story with you is for a couple of reasons. Number one, it was the catalyst that caused me to want to help people. It changed everything for me. I suffered from anxiety and depression during that time and didn't know where to go for help. My whole life was derailed. I was too sick to go anywhere. My career was no good anymore. And I was losing money, and I was losing my house. Does that sound kind of like what's going on today?